You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Are you ready? I'm saying, are you ready?
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform. Or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Right, Chris.
Alrighty, good evening, good afternoon, good day, good morning, good night, goodbye, hello, wherever you are in the world, welcome along. This is LTID TV from Leicester Till I Die. Thank you very much for joining us. It is the debate show, but with a bit of a twist this evening. Because we'll be talking Leicester possibly at the end, but we're going to have a general talk because we've obviously we didn't have any show last week because we did the classic match show, which is still available if you want to talk or watch us talk to Julian Watts about the Palace playoff final. And we've got a few of those coming up as well, so they're all lined up. So looking forward to those other matches as well. So if I seem a little bit sort of out of sorts, I was just on a Swansea channel, because obviously we're playing Swansea at the weekend, and it's taken me a while, but I think I finally got rid of all the sheep's wool from around my groin. But it does tend to stick to you. And talking about sticking to you, Dave's here. Hello, Dave. How are you?
Hello, mate. I'm good. You?
Oh, not so bad.
Oh.
Sorry, this dumb sheep's a bit of a pain, but it's been a while. How are you doing?
You were very brave. Did you have an interpreter with you?
No, but I have had the injections.
Wonderful. Boom, boom. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, mate. Good.
All I will say is, wasn't really brilliant. Now you're lucky because I haven't as yet got an introduction video for you.
Oh, good.
But my next guest, well, she's been complaining that we haven't had one for her. So, I like to please the women on the show. I just like to please women, but I find it very difficult. And I've done this especially for Kate. So here we go. We'll bring her on, but this is Kate.
Hello, Kate.
Oh, thanks for that.
Yeah, well, you've got part of the team now.
Well, this is it. Yeah, I'm glad for that unique introduction. Thanks very much.
No, let's just do it again just for the fun of it.
Hello, Kate.
It's probably the most non-PC TV show of the 70s, that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there was many. You know. But how are you doing, Blakey? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you guys? All right?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Kate.
Not so bad. Not so bad.
Apart from me timekeeping.
Sorry, Dave.
Apart from me timekeeping. Sorry, we're late, guys.
You just like to make an entrance.
Running late, but sounding great.
Thank you. Oh,
hey.
hey.
He's got a very impressive entrance, Kate. But it's only what I've been told. I don't know.
Oh, we've started low tonight, haven't we?
Well, we start low and fail to come up to expectations.
Words of Yaz, the only way is up.
Talk a bit quicker. The
I
good news is,
have to get out all the lines that I can't get out in the morning breakfast show because it's too early.
I suppose the good news is Brad's not here, is he? So, we short answers.
This is true. This is true. Gonna say hello to Highfield. Hello, mate. How are you doing? He is in. Hello as well. You allowed to say that? Have you not got to be like he, her, or he, it, or he, they, or whatever?
Hey, it's that chicken from Moana. I know all these things now, having a granddaughter.
Do you have any idea what he's talking about here, Kate?
Not really. No, I've not got children, so
No,
You don't need them to watch
I feel
that.
like I need to watch Moana though because I've heard
it's
amazing
brilliant.
things about it.
Yeah,
I've got to say, I was so disappointed when my kids were too old to watch and weren't interested in like Doctor Who and things like that because they were the reason I was able to watch them.
yeah.
We don't like this, Dad. Okay, you're sitting down and watching it.
Or you can go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, I've seen your comment, Scott. We'll come back. Coming back to Leicester towards the end of the show, but we're going to have a bit of a Leicester-free zone because we've had no match for a couple of weeks, have we? Is it fun? Is it just me? I just want to ask this one. Has anybody else noticed that since he's now wearing a white shirt to Spurs, that Maddison's getting picked a lot for England? Funny that,
Not
isn't
at all
it?
surprised though.
Wow. It's like, don't make it too obvious, Gareth?
And all the player of the month nomination and all the surprise at how well he's taken to the team. We knew what he was capable of anyway.
Yeah.
Got to play the game, haven't you?
We just should have screwed him down for another 20 million at least.
Yeah.
That's the annoying bit, isn't it?
It is, but at the end of the day, we got rid of him quickly, And like I said earlier, I wasn't on the Swansea show. At the end of the day, he wasn't screaming to go. He wasn't doing a Tielemans or anything like that. But he's doing well, isn't he? Talking about having a move in January.
I'm going to say, yeah, that's just speculation, isn't it? It must be.
Yeah, of course it is. But I did ask you, you wonderful people, for your nominations for these before we came live. So I have them in front of me, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the 3 teams that we think will get relegated, the 4 teams that we think will be in the playoffs, and the teams that will come second and first. And Ant is in. Good evening, Ant, from Ant's Leicester fan channel. How the devil are you? So hope you're well. Get over there, check him out. Good Leicester channel there. We're going to start with I know it's early days. We've had a quarter of the season, so we can see how things are going. Now, surprisingly, on the bottom 3, we actually all agree on 2 of them.
Yeah,
it's just the third one. So let me bring up. We'll start with the bottom. Dave's told me that's the way he likes to go.
I can't remember what I said.
Well, you were rushing on the train.
I can't read that.
Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, and QPR. Kate's Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, and Stoke. And Dave has gone Sheffield, Rotherham, and Watford. Let's start with Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, Dave, they're a team in turmoil, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's another classic owner's screw up, isn't it? Sack a guy gets you promoted and to move up a level and then can't win a game.
Yeah,
it's just they're going down. I'm sure. I mean, there's nothing they can do to save it.
I think the owner, Kate, has come out and said, there's no money. I'm not going to put any more money into the club.
Well, not just that. I think he said, I'm not putting any more money into the club until basically you stop giving me abuse and stop chanting things at the ground. And he's just played a terrible game with the fans. And a mate of mine's a Sheffield Wednesday fan, actually, and he's not even sort of abiding by any kind of etiquette and ethical nature in terms of pricing for away fans. I think they played Sunderland the other week and an away ticket was 57 quid, which is just absolutely bonkers. Yeah, it's because obviously it's like it's 30 quid max in the Prem, and it's a little bit different in the Championship as we've found out. But yeah, over 50 quid because he just doesn't care. But they never sell out because even home fans buying ad hoc general sale tickets are paying over the odds as well. And it's really sad to see because it does make you realise how fortunate we are.
Yeah,
but it's greater than football, isn't it? This problem, it's nothing you can do on the pitch. It's just all rotten inside, which is really sad, and we don't want to be in that position ourselves.
No, and I mean, I don't think we've ever been there, have we, Dave? I mean, we've had, owners. I mean, look, we've got the best owners there is, Colesberg owners, really, haven't we? If Colesberg did football owners,
Yeah.
Kuhn Top and his family would be them. But even before that, we never had any owners that kind of went to that extreme.
No, I don't think so. Even on the bad Shipman days, which is the sort of 60s time, they were always club members and club supporters. They weren't in it, definitely not in it for the money in those days. But I think you've seen it too many times now. You look at Birmingham, why have they appointed Rooney? They were, top six? All right, their form hasn't been so great, but they've only lost a couple of games, I think, recently. But, why do that? Why upset stability? It might upset the players. Rooney isn't that great a manager, is he? He did okay at Derby, but he didn't do that well.
He'd been sacked from DC United, and I suppose
well,
with Birmingham they have got an American owner, and I suppose he sees it as a coup to get a name in.
But that's like appointing Steve Walsh, bless him, isn't it?
Yeah,
as manager. I mean, as much as he loves Leicester, you can't imagine it would work.
No, can't wait. Kate, can't wait for Birmingham to come to the KB.
I'm so excited. I've already been talking to a few friends about it.
Oh, yes.
I think the away game's December, I think. So that's just going to be absolute chaos, isn't it, really?
Make it a family game so you can bring the wife.
Life should go free on that game, shouldn't they, really?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We wonder if whether Rebecca's got her own seat or not, or whether she has to pinch somebody else's.
So Vardy will get hat trick that day, you see.
Oh God, that would be so good, wouldn't it? That would be so good. Yeah. That said, I can't stand Rebecca Vardy, but there we go.
I don't know her. So.
She thinks very highly of you, Dave.
Well, I can
Sheffield Wednesday, Kate. I mean, 11 played, no wins, only 5 scored, 18 conceded, minus 13. Everything about them is the worst in the division. Can they turn it around? I don't know if they think who their manager is at the moment.
I don't know who the manager is at the moment.
No.
But yeah, I don't think they can turn it around. Like I said, I've got a friend who's an avid season ticket holder and has been for a number of years. And I saw him about game week 3. And he was, just not had the run of the game. It's been really narrow defeats. And we've almost quite a few times been okay in the first handful of games, 3 games or so or something. But I think there's just too much going on behind the scenes. Everyone's distracted. If you can't score, it's the biggest problem, isn't it, in football? You see it so many times. It's not so much as what you concede. It's if you can't score, you're in a whole world of trouble, really.
It's Danny Roll. I don't know if anybody's heard of him or not. No, obviously not. He's German. Apparently, he's German.
Yeah, I knew that, but that's about all I know.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if they rock into the stadium, they could have a bit of rock and roll going on.
Was he Germany's assistant manager or something? Was that the guy? Was he Germany's assistant manager, or was that somebody else?
I've no idea. I didn't.
Yeah.
He's only 34.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird,
ridiculous.
Decisions. I mean, Kate, your friend's a Sheffield Wednesday fan, like you say, and I mean, it's a big club with a big history. They've been in the Premier League, haven't they? Since, after it was formed. Trevor Francis, God rest his soul, manager, got them to 2 finals in the same year, in the same season. When you see these big clubs, you got to think there, but for the grace of God.
Yeah, absolutely. they're just such a historic club, aren't they? It's the great ground, really old fan base. One of those teams that you'll half expect one day to make it back to the Premier League in some capacity, but it's just like one of these other sad stories, really. It's just a massive fall from grace and total mismanagement. And until proper regulations brought into football, unfortunately, these stories will happen each year. But yeah, it was gutting for Darren Moore to just be turfed out. What was it, July time, pretty much straight into the summer, and not be given a shout. And I think he's been badmouthed in the press by the owner, who said it was all about money. Darren wanted more money, but he's come out and denied that. And I can't imagine that that's an issue for someone like Darren, because he's going to be handsomely paid anyway. He's got a good CV on him. And he probably just wanted a project with an owner that you can work with. And
Dave, they got the way they got promoted, that amazing comeback in the semis for the playoffs, what have you. They were on a roll, no pun intended. But when we lost to Watford, and then the next season we took that on. They should have really, when you look at sort of, no disrespect to Plymouth and Ipswich, they've sort of set it alight a little bit. Ipswich more than Plymouth, obviously. But they're going to just they must feel like they're down already.
Well, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Why would you get sack somebody who knows the club, who knows the players, who's got the respect, and then slag him off for wanting more money? It's okay, so he didn't need money. Perhaps he wanted more money to spend on players. Maybe that's been twisted around a bit. But then if you get promoted to the Championship with a view, well, I don't think Sheffield Wednesday owners have a view to go up, do they? That's the problem. They seem to just want to survive. And that was always their plan. Well, that's hardly fitting for a club like Sheffield Wednesday.
Dave, do you not think when owners come in and, all right, I mean, I was watching a programme the other day on Portsmouth, obviously just down the road from me, and, how after Milan Mandaric left, how they sort of fell from grace with different owners. People coming in that, said they'd got millions that haven't got two bob to rub together. But when owners come in, surely they know that, if things go wrong, as they did for Top last season, fans are going to be on their back and fans are going to be chanting and booing.
I don't think they care. They've got thick skins. They're businessmen. They're used to shitting on people. They don't really care about anything like that. They like the ego of owning a football club. It impresses their business mates. They can have a boardroom and have them around for lunch. All that sort of thing is what they're interested in. There's not that many that are really interested in the football side that come in like that. I mean, as you say, we're so lucky. We should appreciate it, which is why I was so annoyed last year when Top was getting lots of grief, because, everybody's entitled to a couple of mistakes. And for all the years that they've done the right thing, that was just a bad time. But God Almighty, to start slagging him off was disgraceful. And it's the same old thing. We should be careful what we wish for.
Yes, we should. And I kind of just say, Dave used to do the breakfast show on the radio, but when he has comments like shitting on mates, that's why he no longer is. You did say you got turned off the radio once, didn't you, Dave?
Well, yeah, I did actually. But
moving on.
Bizarre when you own it, isn't it?
It was. I know, that's the thing. Sack yourself. But the owners, do you know what they're like?
I know. Absolute nightmare.
But no, I mean, Kate, and I'm going to put my hands up. I was one of those. I never actually called for Top to go. I was just complaining at how the club was being run last season. And I think as fans, we do have a right to do that, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we absolutely do. I think I tweeted about this at the time, that everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just think when people go too far when they say things like Top needs to sell the club. Top will do what Top wants to do. He owns the club. I know fans own it in their hearts, but he is the owner of the club and he is trying to do right by the club in what has been an unprecedented 3 years, which we're still paying the price for COVID repercussions and everything else that's gone on there. And we've got a manager that was on paper world class, apparently. And I think Top was still adjusting to the position that he was in following Vishai's death. Like it's the first major decision he was going to have to do that could really impact the future, because we're in such a precarious position at the bottom. So I never called for Top to go. I think sometimes you've got to put your big boy pants on. I think that's definitely something you've got to do. And you live and you learn, and there's a board there to support him. There's a board there to direct him. So it's time for it was a moment for them to earn their keep as well. And I'm not sure that they did that to help him make the decision quicker. You're
quite right. And I've got to say, as much as I criticised him last season, this season, I've just literally done a programme. It's still on the LTID TV1 channel under the pick, which is the latest shows, saying, like, as much as I gave him criticism last year, he has to take credit. I mean, he's done completely the opposite this year, and fair play. He's been decisive, quick manager, choice of manager to come in, and he's backed him. We'll come on to Leicester, obviously, a little bit more in the future. And talking about a world-class manager that only was for 3 seasons, of course, having just been on the Swansea City channel, they absolutely adore him. But I did have a few disagreements. Dave, Rotherham is the next one. We all agreed on Rotherham. 1 place above, only won 1 game, drawn 3, scored 10 but conceded 22. So they've got the same problem of conceding. 1 in 10. They're a bit of a yo-yo club between the 2 divisions.
Yeah, I think they'll continue to do that. They're not showing any signs of shutting up shop at the back, or making it difficult for teams to play them, and that's what they have to do. I think they probably aren't going to score enough goals to make a difference either side. It's but not like Wrexham, probably concede 4 and score 5.
Yeah,
I don't think they're able to do that. Gave us a tough game though, didn't they? And I thought they'd probably be okay, but recent results, I think. Have they had 2 points out of the last 6 or 7 games or something like that, whatever it is?
They've drawn 2 in 5, yeah.
In 5, yeah, okay. So I suppose that's the start, but I just don't see them over the season being strong enough to stay up.
Kate, you obviously do agree with that, because you've got them in your bottom 3 as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think the same as you, Dave, that they gave us a good game, but just more recent form has just been really poor. And it's the goal scoring again. It's losing to teams around them a bit, really. That's kind of when it's a key indicator that you're probably not going to cut it. And yeah, they are a bit of a yo-yo club, aren't they? So it's not good to be in this position so early on in the season when people at the top are picking up points and the gap just becomes ever wider. It just becomes a mountain to climb down, similar to what Sheffield Wednesday are probably thinking. It just becomes too big a gap.
They've actually got a midfielder called Cafu, would you believe? I don't think it's the Cafu, to be honest with you, because I think he's probably about 70 now.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because Matt Taylor's still?
Yeah.
He's a young lad. I mean, you'd like to see him do all right, but I can see him just becoming another casualty.
Dave, they've got the visited. Well, they're being visited by Ipswich at the weekend, so
yeah,
that doesn't look good for them, does it?
No, it doesn't look good for us either, does it? Really?
No.
But you never know. I mean, they might play better against the better sides. Who knows? But as Kate said, they've got to beat the teams around them, or else they'll go down. It don't matter if they get a point against Ipswich. It's the rest of them that are going to get points.
It is, and I think, Kate, when we look at these teams, when they come up, the first 2-3 games, possibly you look at it and go, yeah, well, they're on a momentum ride or whatever. But after 11 games, you're starting to see the form come into play, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking here, and I think they've only won 1 in the league and drawn 3. So it's a tough old run for them. It's hard to shake that kind of form when you start off like that as well, especially when you're burrowing around there at the bottom, and you can't see where the next points are coming from. You quickly get into that mentality. I think it's kind of where we got to a bit halfway through last season. the momentum and the mental aspect of it becomes more draining than the physical, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can't see much hope for it. Sorry, Dave.
So I think he did a good job previously. Did he get Exeter in the league again or something? Or was that, am I thinking of somebody else? I've got a feeling he did a good job down there, and Exeter were scoring lots of goals and playing well, and and that's the jump up, isn't it? You see so many of these young English managers make the jump up too quickly.
He was at Exeter.
Did he get them promoted?
I don't. It doesn't show me that on the page.
Okay.
Funny enough, he played 4 games for Newport County, and I don't know if Mike's still in or whether he's gone, but he's a Newport fan. But yeah, he played for Exeter. He played 160 odd games for Exeter. He was there 4 seasons.
It did get promotion, I can see here.
Yeah, I thought he did, because I just remember Exeter being on the climb.
Yeah, that was last season. So then he applied for the role and got given it. So you can't blame him wanting to.
No, but you have to be so careful, don't you? Where you get these jobs, because if there's no, it's like Sheffield Wednesday. Why would you take that job when they treated their manager like that? Because there's no money to spend. The owners are arrogant from the sound of it.
You just hide into nothing, aren't you, really?
Yeah, there's nowhere to go. You just get sacked and people forget you. Another Christian Gross type person.
It's the money you get when you're sacked.
Well, then
Jose Mourinho has probably earned more from payoffs than he has actually from wages. But we should never feel sorry for these managers. I mean, all right, the payoffs they get from the likes of, say, Rotherham, Exeter, Sheffield Wednesday, etc., aren't going to be like the Chelsea's Tottenham, but they are still going to get some payoff because they've signed the contract, and they do sort of tend to. I mean, look. All I'll say is just look at Peter Taylor. How many clubs did he get sacked from?
I think the difference is, Chris, that these young managers who want the job because they're hungry won't have the same clauses in their contract. I'd be surprised if it's much more than, I don't know, 6 months or something like that. I don't know whether there's any legal aspects there, but a guy wants a job, he'd do it for anything. These guys really want to work and be managers.
Yeah.
The owners have got them over a barrel, really.
Well, you're probably right there. Right, going up to our third choices, and this is where we all completely 100% disagree. Now, I'll go first, literally, because I'm first on up there. I've gone for QPR, but I did change my mind about 5 times, to be honest with you, when I was typing this. I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not so sure.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, hey, this is what the crowd want. Because I couldn't decide.
We got a crowd in.
They've just left, actually, Dave. They've just got an account.
Oh, hey, too brute. That's all I'll say. This is why you won't give me the figures for the breakfast show, you see.
I know. I don't know how to do minuses.
They're that bad. But no, I couldn't decide between, because I one of my early choices right at the start of the season was Plymouth. I thought they'd go straight back down because of the clubs at that time that came up. Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich, I thought, had the means to stay up and the backing to stay up, although we've obviously seen that's not the case with Wednesday now. But I just thought Plymouth would struggle, and I still think they will do. I mean, they've dropped down now to 18th. They had that amazing win over was it Norwich they beat by about 6 goals. But since then they've only won 1 in the last 5, and that probably was that game. But they've only won 3. Half of what they've lost. They've now the -1 goal difference. I think as the season goes on, they will be one of the teams that will struggle and will find it harder, like you said, as we go into the season. The thing I've gone for QPR is not because they're in that third position at the moment, or the fact that they're the third favourites to go down, but they've just been there or thereabouts for so many seasons. Not so long ago, remember when we did the Great Escape, they were in the Premier League that season. All right, they went down. I think we beat them the last day 5-2 or something, didn't we, on that season. But I just think, like when Leicester were in League One, and it was inevitable that we were going to go down at some point, and we did. And I just think that's it with QPR, to be honest with you. So for me,
for too long.
That's the reason I've gone for QPR. But you will disagree with me, looking at your choices. And Kate, I mean, wow, both of yours have got wow. We'll go to Kate's wow first. Stoke City.
Yeah, so I thought they were so poor against us. I don't know what game plan they came with, but they left it at home. Basically, that's what happened. I just think they lacked ideas. I think they'll struggle to score. They've got some quite difficult fixtures coming up as well. So their next fixtures include Sunderland, Leeds, Borough are their next three. So I think come mid to late November, they could be in the bottom three if results pan out. So I just thought, and based on the performance that I saw as well, I thought they were just so poor against us. Yeah, that's the reason why, really.
Yeah, no, they were, and they've only won 1 in 5. And like I say, they've only won 3 all season. Scored a few, but obviously let more in. And just one place above them is Watford. And I've got to be honest with you, I didn't realise until before the show how low Watford and Stoke were. And I can when I saw your choices come through, I was like, ooh, but now I can sort of see. But you gone for Watford, Dave?
I think it's their turn. I think they've been turmoil for years. They can't pick their manager. They don't know what they're doing. A lot of the games I've heard this year, they've been so poor, and they've managed to come away with some results, but I don't know how, because they always seem to be playing badly and not really gelling together. I did think about Stoke, and the only redeeming thing I thought was, well, they probably had 10 players out against us. So maybe if they get the injured players back, that could help. I don't know how long it's going to be before they get them back. That's the big thing. QPR, yeah, obviously. You've got a good choice there, Chris, because you got the 3 that are in the bottom of the form table and bottom of the league.
I mean, the thing with Stoke, I've got to be honest with you, is like you say, when we played them, they had got a lot of players out, but they also, I remember the Stoke guy saying, well, we brought a lot of new players in, but we're waiting for them to gel. And I'm like, well, we brought a load of new players in, and kind of gelled already, mate. But I'm just looking at that here. I've just Googled Watford manager. And it's just going around a blue circle at the moment saying, please wait, we're just double checking.
There's about 5 million results, that's why.
We'll have one shortly. Yeah.
Yes.
Nigel, that's one, Nigel.
Yeah.
Nigel. Yeah.
And it's come up at the moment and it's just gone, at the moment. It's Valerian Ismail.
Yeah, well, he won't be there long.
He is. Yes. He's their 19th manager in 11 years. My God.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah. But the thing that stopped me saying QPR was Gareth Ainsworth. And I know I've just been arguing against Gareth Ainsworth because he's he's not that young, is he? But he's a youngish manager who's come up from a lower team, and maybe he's out of his depth. But having listened to him over the years and Wickham fans talking about him, that they loved him and they thought he was great. And I just, whether he's allowed to do what he wants to do will be another matter. But I can't see any redeeming features at Watford with their manager turnaround.
The thing with Gareth Ainsworth at QPR is the fans are turning against him already.
Yeah,
they don't like his style of play.
No.
It's not bringing the results in. He's coming out and he's blaming everybody but himself. That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, he might walk out. Knowing him, he's probably just as likely to resign and say, sod your payoff.
Yeah, and it's another big club that's down there. Stoke. So who's Stoke manager at the moment?
It's what's his name from Sunderland, wasn't it? Scottish geezer.
Alex Neil.
Alex Neil, that's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about. I'm
He's
not sure
managing the
about him.
Premier League, hasn't he?
He married Norwich.
I think
Is
he
it
did.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he got them relegated, didn't he?
Well, who hasn't?
Or something like that. No, I don't know. I mean, Stoke, yeah, could be. Who knows? Any of those three.
That's interesting. As I say, interesting that we all went for a different third place one. Now then, this is interesting. Let's just have a look and just see what people have been saying for their teams going down. Scott has said Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, Birmingham.
Oh, big call. I like it.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
that. They'll be doing an upside down Middlesbrough if that happens.
I think that's wishful thinking, Scott, isn't it?
But again, sometimes when a team's doing well and you change the manager for no reason, well, we know the reason
Such
why.
a risk,
But
isn't it? It's such a risk, that Birmingham appointment.
yes, and you've got an owner there. In fairness, that doesn't really know that much. I don't think about English football. Is an NFL player, wasn't he? So the American footballer, quarterback that owns the club now.
Oh yeah, Tom Brady's got a minority stake, hasn't he? Yeah.
He was coming in as the big. I thought he'd bought the whole club the way that the Birmingham.
No, I think he's big buddies with the American owners.
Ah, right.
I mean, if you pay Tom Brady, he'll be big buddies with anybody. He must be so unbelievably wealthy. But yeah, he's come in and put his name to it. I'm surprised they'd have heard of the Birmingham in the UK outside of Alabama before he came here.
But well, like you say, he probably thought that's where he was going. Yeah. So that's who Scott had gone for. Anthony has come in. Good evening, Anthony. He's got QPR, Sheffield Wednesday, and Huddersfield. Now, Huddersfield have just signed Darren Moore, haven't they? That was the Sheffield Wednesday manager.
I like Darren a lot. I think he's good.
That's going to be a Yorkshire derby with added spice, isn't it?
Just a bit.
That one comes round. But we're going to have a look now at the playoffs. If anybody else has had, we've had a couple of somebody in here. Paul has just gone Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, and QPR. Good man, that Paul. I've always said that. Like
There's
the
always
cut of
one
his chin.
teacher's pet, isn't there?
Yeah.
One.
He is my
He
Yuri
brought you an
Tielemans.
apple. I bet he brought you an apple for your desk as well.
No, he's my Yuri Tielemans to my Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah.
or Junior Lewis to my Peter Taylor, whichever way you want to look at it. Ooh. I know, that's taking the smile off your face, hasn't it? But let's have a look then at well done, Paul. I like you. Let's have a look at the top. The third, fourth, fifth, and sixth in no particular order. These are just the 4 teams that we think are going to end up in the playoff places. Dave, I've got to be honest with you, a couple of surprises in there from you. And then I looked at mine and thought,
I was on the train.
He's maybe not so daft as I am. But let's have a look and see. There's actually nobody that all 3 of us agree on.
Wow.
Not one team. We've got a couple where there's 2, but let's just bring them up here before we. I'll read them through before we go in. So I've got Leeds, Ipswich, Swansea, and Middlesbrough. Kate has gone Southampton, Ipswich, Sunderland, and Norwich. And Dave has gone Southampton, Leeds, Blackburn, and Coventry. Going to do Southampton first because you both have gone for Southampton. Obviously, one of the pre-season favourites to go up. They've dropped down the pecking order a little bit. Dave, come to you first of all. Have they shown you enough this season? They certainly didn't show me enough when we played them that they were going to be up there.
No,
in different form.
I think they'll make the playoffs. I think because they'll sort out their problems at the back. I was talking to Damon, a mate of mine, who's a Saints fan last night, and every mistake they've made has been punished by a goal. We've got away with them a few times, but every time Southampton did what they did against us, they've conceded. Now you've got to imagine they'll slightly change their style, where at some stage they're just going to have to hoof it up. and not mess around. And they are good enough, and they've got the depth to actually at least get in the playoffs. I don't think they'll, it's going to be tough for them to get automatic promotion from where they are. But their current form, I think they've have they won 2 out of the last 5 or 6?
I'm just looking at
the
the
last 3.
4.
And they lost 4 on the bounce before that. So they've turned a corner for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel, I don't know. I just think that they are better than other clubs. Certainly, they're good enough for a top 6 finish, but whether they'll make it to the playoffs, they're too hot and cold. That's their only problem. Whether they'll get through the playoffs is, I don't know.
This was the reason that I haven't gone for them, because they are too hot and cold. And when I saw the fact that they lost, when I watched them play us, they had about 10 minutes when they scored the goal, when I thought, they could actually get the second here. And they didn't. They didn't go for that killer punch. And like I say, every time they made a mistake, they were punished. And Kate, you can't go through the whole season like that, can you?
No, not at all. Otherwise, you'll end up losing games 9-0 or something crazy like that, won't you? But yeah, I've got them in there for the same kind of reasons as Dave, really. I think they've turned a corner. I just think as the season goes on, I think their experience in the Premier League will just start to tell a bit in terms of fitness, just pushing on. I just think they had a terrible start and didn't adjust very quickly. And when you look at the table, I mean, there's only 2 points between 10th and 6th at the minute. 10th and 5th, sorry, at the minute. So it's so tight. They're not adrift, considering the terrible start they had. Losing 4 on the bounce and still being within 2 points or 1 point of top 6 is just ridiculous. So, yeah, I just think some of the Premier League quality will start to tell a bit as we go through the season.
I don't know. I'm looking at it here. I'm looking at the last 5. Lost, won, drawn. There just isn't the consistency there for me. I'm not saying that they won't be there or thereabouts, but for me, I just don't think that they'll be in that position. Now, I've gone for Leeds, which you've gone for as well. This is going to get very confusing as we go through this now. I've gone for Leeds because they had an awful start. Everything was going against them. Players refusing to play, and but suddenly they have turned it around for me. A lot of bookies have got them as the second favourites to go up with us. They're in 5th at the moment. They've only lost one of the last 5, which was the Southampton game. But they've won. They'd won one before that. They've beat Bristol. They beat QPR. I think they're going to have enough, and they've got a good manager there now as well. Kate, you've gone for Leeds as well.
No, not me. Dave has.
Not you. Sorry, Dave. You've gone for Leeds as well. Your thoughts on why Leeds have you put Leeds in there?
Well, they've still got a lot of the players, haven't they? Retained players that have got experience, and I just think once they hit that form, they're going to get far enough up to get in the playoffs. So I don't agree they're the second favourites. Far from it. But I still think that they're set for the playoffs without too many problems.
Yeah.
And they're scoring goals.
Yes.
Their front attack is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And if they keep fit and the players sort their lives out and continue to do what they're doing, then they'll be fine.
I'm going to have to write these down, otherwise I forget who I've asked who about.
You've got your fancy graphics. You don't need to write them down.
Yeah, but they're not all in line, are they? That's the thing.
Is it one screen? Or is it? It is small, is it?
It is quite small, yeah.
All right, get some new glasses, Dave. Should have gone to Specsavers.
Oh, that's better. I've got a full screen there. Oh, God, you look big now. Oh.
It's been a long time since anybody said that to me, and unfortunately, I was wishing it hadn't been a man.
I'm just used to small things, so I thought that was how it should be. Yeah.
Kathy, where are you?
Oh, that's much better. I can see the selections now.
I've nowhere to go with this. I'm literally nowhere. He's left me
I've been doing
speechless.
this for 2 or 3 years now. This is the first time I've made it look big.
Shows what happens when you press the right buttons, Dave.
Oh, it's like having a new toy. It's great.
Apparently, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with this, so I'll apologise for it in advance. But apparently, the other night there was a programme. It was on the BBC red button on the clitoris, but Dave couldn't find it. Apparently.
Hey.
Where were you? Can rely on Dave to take us off in completely different.
It's those glasses.
I'm really excited about
He's
this.
really pleased with himself now. You can see he got you.
Can we start
Every
again?
day's a school day, Dave.
I
Every day is a school
know,
day.
I know. You can always learn things.
I think we're going to have to have a quick one of these while I regroup.
The TalkSport Fan Network is the ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Including Leicester Till I Die, independent analysis and reaction for the Foxes faithful.
The TalkSport Fan Network.
Unbeatable club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Follow the podcast on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Okay, I think we're all back and okay and with it.
With it, no, but we never were, so that's okay.
No.
Oh, that's true. That's true. What Dave's with, I don't know, but there we go. Right, so we've done Southampton and we've done Leeds. Ipswich, Kate. Now I've got them in the playoffs, and so have you. Obviously, they sitting second at the moment. I have been surprisingly impressed with Ipswich, but as it was their manager that was one of my top two choices to take over at Leicester, I'm quite pleased. Whether they can keep it up or not, of course, again, the new team. I should have said that to Dave. But whether they can keep the form up for the rest of the season, who knows? I say they're newly promoted, but I do think they will be there or thereabouts. And you've gone for Ipswich as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, there's an 8-point gap at the minute between them and third place, which is a decent enough cushion. I just think we're only a quarter of the way through the season. I just feel in my heart of hearts they'll fall away a little bit. I think there's going to be a potential bad run for them or a couple of stumbles, but I still do fancy them. I think they've got enough momentum. They seem to be great working together as a group. So yeah, I think they'll be in the top 6. I won't want to call it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the momentum is there for them, and like you say, I'd sooner have a good start and then have a little bit of a bad run in the middle, because you've built, like you said, you've built that cushion up, and when you look at them, they've won 9. They've just drawn 1, and that's the difference. They've only lost the 1 as well, so it's looking good for Ipswich.
I've just seen as well the last couple of games they've got at the end of the season are Blackburn and Southampton. So there's some tasty fixtures, and it's just whether you can just hold your nerve. And I'm not saying they can't. It's just that if you're a betting man, you think, have they not had the experience at this level necessarily? So
yeah. Now, wish me luck, Kate, because I'm going to go to Dave now. But Dave, one of your choices. Now, like I say, I did think like, what are you on, Dave? And I've wondered that many a time. I'll tell you, but I have to say that these are the two teams, and we'll go to one of them first. But these are the two teams. I actually thought at the start of the season that they would be up there, but been very disappointed with the starting. Let's go to Blackburn Rovers first of all. Just missed out on the playoffs last season on goal difference, but they are struggling this season. Down in 17th, played 11, only won 4, lost the last 4. And again, they've got sort of their owners a bit of financial trouble, but you think that they could turn it round?
I do, yeah. I think they play some decent football. I think, again, a lot of this is based on how they played us. And I think they were unlucky, even though it was 4-1. And I think it's just a matter of tuning it. Bearing in mind, I was on the train while I was doing this yesterday, and I suddenly realised after seeing your list that Sunderland, possibly, Middlesbrough, possibly, but I do think Blackburn are good enough to actually have a good run, and maybe if they get their bad runs out early in the season, now that could be the way of doing it, because they always say that the teams that have their bad run late on in the season are the ones that fail.
You've got to look, haven't you, Kate, at Middlesbrough last season? But I mean, Blackburn again. I don't think Thompson was happy. He's not made the signings that he wanted. I don't know. I just think last season that might have been their chance.
Yeah, they were in there for me as the potential. I did think, just because of how they played us. I thought they did man for man marking. I thought they set up against us really well and with intent, which is, I think, is a lot of the battle when you go into a duel like that. Really,
that's why we couldn't get past them, because they pitched the tents up.
Not so much. It's just that when we played,
they said they were intense.
Oh, yeah, you keep saying that, and I keep missing it.
Hey!
But yeah, there were man to man marking when we played up from the back, which is what actually gave them their first goal, wasn't it? So, I just thought they set up really well. I thought they played with intent. I thought they wanted to challenge. I think they looked like they can score. The left winger, I can't remember the chap's name, is Blondie with a ponytail. I think he's Danish as well. He was really bright. They've got some good attacking options, to be honest. And I'm with Dave though. I think that they will be there or thereabouts for sure. And I kind of like to see that. I like some of the old clubs to come back.
As everybody that knows me knows, I do have having worked for them, I have a soft spot for Blackburn Rovers, and I think they'll certainly be in the top 10. But I just think last season they've missed that chance to, when you're on that high and you've missed out literally just on goal difference. That's the time the next season to go out and kill it, and I don't think they've had the backing to do that.
I think the next 4 games as well, or 3, certainly 3. They've got Swansea and Cardiff, I think, over the next few weeks. Quite important. They need to start winning those games, and that'll give them the confidence to push forward. And I think they've also got them. Sorry, Kate.
Sandwiched in between by Millwall.
Yeah.
Away.
And then I think comes something like Preston and Norwich or Ipswich or something. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think the next few games will define their season. But I still think they're good enough. But then, to be fair, Chris, 10 or 12 teams are good enough.
I know, but this is why I asked you to pick 4.
Yeah, I know.
That's it. Talking of choices, Kate, your third choice, Sunderland. It's a bit like the X Factor with the magic chairs, isn't it? The 6-chair challenge. I like Sunderland, but you've gone for them to be in your playoff positions.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're starting to grind out some results now, although they got absolutely smashed, didn't they, by Borough the other week, which wouldn't have gone down well at all.
No.
But yeah, I just think they've paid their dues. I know it doesn't always equal that in football, but I just think their fan base, I think they're starting to ride the positive wave again rather than the downward spiral. And you just get a bit of a sense of Sunderland that this could be the year that they get a chance to go back up. And I think they play quite entertaining football as well. But they obviously are liable to a few hiccups along the way, which I think most teams that are in that top 6 or the positions 3 to 6 will be. I think that's how the Championship can throw out random results, and it's how you get back on the train and carry on.
I'm just looking here, and they've won. Well, they lost to Middlesbrough and they lost to Cardiff. The Middlesbrough one was the big. Well, I don't think anybody saw that coming. I certainly didn't. But they beat Watford 2-0, Sheffield Wednesday 3, Blackburn 3-1, Queen's Park Rangers 3-1. So, they know where the net is.
Yeah, Southampton they beat 5-0 as well. Yeah, like you said, they're scoring boatloads. scoring voters, but occasionally they'll slip up and bleed a lot. So
And then you go and lose, was it 1-0 at home to Cardiff?
yeah.
Who actually aren't doing too bad now, to be honest. They could quite easily get in the playoff.
Yeah, better than yeah. And you said before, Dave, that you're looking, you thought, oh, Sunderland, possibly.
Yeah. Only, well, a lot because of what I thought the home form would be. Because they've got obviously a massive crowd behind them if they want to turn up. I think probably a few of them would have been, how you usually say, losing 4-0 home to Middlesbrough is destroying, isn't it? But again, they've got some comfortable fixtures coming up after us and Stoke. Maybe not Stoke's not us and Norwich, is it? On the bounce. Can you see them? Yeah. So after that, I think they've got some fairly fixtures they should win.
And the international break might have come at a good time for them after having that absolute beating by Borough. That's going to hurt a lot in the northeast. So sometimes you just need to rest, recoup, forget about it, and then have a couple of weeks off before you need to refocus. So
I'm just looking here that Sunderland are currently 7th in the form table based on the last 5 games, which is basically half of what they've played. Again, got a +2 goal difference. So, I mean, that Middlesbrough game, and it'll be interesting to see if that kickstarts the season again, because they were doing well up until that point. And like you said, Kate, that will have hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those defeats are it can just go one of 2 ways, really, can't it? So
Yes.
it can just go one of 2 ways, especially when it's a local derby like that. And the northeastern derbies they just mean a lot, don't they?
Yes. Yeah. Now, I've gone as one of mine, Swansea City, which made the gentleman I was talking to earlier very, very happy. But at the moment, they are one of the informed teams. They've managed to survive losing the star striker who went to Leeds, they've still carried on. I mean, Swansea at the moment, they're only sat down in 12th, but they haven't lost in 5. They've won 4, lost 4, scoring more than they are conceding, 18-4, 14 against. But when I look at the form table, I can see that they're up into second. They're actually second based on the last 5 games. 1-4 on the trot. And I actually think that Swansea could cause us problems at home at the weekend. They do worry me a little bit. And if we came away with a point away from home to Swansea, like I say, well, the second informed team, I don't know who the first one is. I'm sure we'll come to them in a minute. I wouldn't be overly disappointed. So that's why I've got Swansea in there. Dave, your thoughts on Swansea?
Nah.
Okay. Don't hang about, Dave.
Well, he said it was going to be short answers tonight, didn't he?
He did, in fairness. Well, moving on to you, Kate. Your thoughts on Swansea?
Well, yeah, I didn't realise they'd won 4 on the bounce. 11 goals in 4 games. That is, we might have a game on our hands at the weekend for sure. They're going to be flying high with confidence at home. Yeah, I don't think they'll quite cut it. But it's going to be close. There's going to be near on 8 or 9 teams going for this top 6, I think. But when it comes to it,
yes, I think you're right.
It'd be nice to be out the way, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it would. But now I just think, as when you're looking at teams that are on form, they are on fire at the moment, and if they can carry that on, again, it's all. I think this season is all about minding the gap. So like the gap from 2nd to 3rd and the gap from 6th to 7th. And, I think if they can put a good run together, they can cement, a place in the top 6. They had a bad start, but hopefully that's behind them. Well, Dave, let's move on to your last choice. Hopefully we'll get a few more words out of you than we did for Swansea. But you've gone for who?
Yeah,
You've gone for Coventry City.
It pains me to do that.
You did it though.
I did, based on last year. Really, I know they've had a tough start, but they were a pretty decent side, weren't they, against us again? I think they've played some okay stuff. I think they've underperformed. I don't know what their form is, but it can't be great at the minute. But I think, based on last season's experience, that most of their players have got. I mean, they've got. Is it one of the strikers that left? I don't pay much attention to them, to be honest, but I think they lost the striker who was scoring a few goals. But I still think they've got the pedigree to get in the playoffs. They had a late run last year, if you remember. They started off badly last year. I know you wouldn't be noticing that because we were supposed to be in the Premier League, but I think I always look for signs where they're not doing very well. But they came good, and I think they could do that again.
Well, for me,
if the children turn up to support them, of course.
That's it. To me, with Coventry sat one place below Swansea at the moment, I'm just going to go nah. Kate, your thoughts on? No, seriously. At the start of the season, I thought, I had Coventry to be possibly even going for second, but I definitely thought they'd be in the playoffs. Shame they lost the final last season, of course. But they've not capitalised on that. I mean, all right, they lost, Doyle. They lost Doyle, who went back to his parent club, then came to us. But your thoughts on Coventry, Kate?
Yeah, I think now I think they'll just be outside. But I can see exactly where Dave's coming from. I think they did have a strong finish last year. It doesn't seem to massively have impacted some of the feeling amongst the club that they can go up. Like I said last week on the programme last week that was the best game for me to watch Leicester, because they gave us such a game on the first game of the season. We know going 1-0 up, and there's definitely that tenacity there and that ability. It will just be close. I just hope we're out of it, because there's going to be so many 6-pointers in the last 10 games. It's going to be unreal.
Yes, yeah. Well, Kate, let's go for your final choice for the playoffs. Norwich City. Currently, they are in 7th. 1-5, lost 4, drawn 2. Scored 21, but let 19 in. I think they are inconsistent City, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think they're always there or thereabouts, and they're so experienced in this league. They are always there or thereabouts. I'm just looking at their fixtures. Their fixtures are unbelievable. So they've got Leeds, then Borough, then Sunderland, then Blackburn, then Cardiff. So that's like 5, 6 pointers. If they get 3 wins out of that, they put themselves in a great position. But again, they have always hemorrhaged goals, haven't they, as a club? They've never had a problem scoring so much, and they were similar in the Premier League, but they just let in so many.
I'm just looking here and just going back. Blackburn, Dave, are 20th in the form table. Yeah. Coventry, in fairness, a bit higher. They're 9th. But Norwich, Kate, are in 18th in the form table.
Yeah. Well, they got whooped by Plymouth, didn't they? That was a schoolboy game.
Again, did you see that coming?
No, not at all.
No.
When you watched, I think there was about 20 minutes of highlights that I saw. I think that was one of the main games on the ITV Championship programme, and it was just absolutely embarrassing defending, like embarrassing. So if they've got that in them, they could really scupper their chances. But I'm still sticking with it. I think they're seasoned enough. I think they're experienced enough, and they're right in there at the minute.
They are. Your thoughts, Dave? Any more one word?
They're scoring goals. 2 words. Sorry. Well, 3 words, wasn't it? There. I'll leave it there.
Okay,
I'll tell you what. I'll do one word.
Different back in the day, wasn't it?
Goals.
Thank you. Well, when they had the old chalk and skate, what do they call it? Slate boards. That things. That wasn't quite the same.
Never liked the screeching of those.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, no, they haven't. They didn't go up last season, which was a surprise because they normally go, every other season, they're up and down, like the old bride's knickers on the, wedding night. But I just think that they'll be just outside. I think they will, just fall short, unfortunately, again this season. Which isn't a bad thing because if they get in the playoffs, they've got a chance of going up, and I don't like them going up because they don't make a fist of it when they do come up, and that's the thing. Now, for me, my fourth choice, Middlesbrough, who again had a bad start last season, but managed to come good at the end. They, not like Dave, they. Doing a very bad start this season, they sold the main striker, and they struggled, I think, at the start of the season without him. But they've turned it around, and on the form table, they're third in the form table. Not lost in 5, won the last 4, including that 4-0 drubbing of Sunderland. And I think they've, again with the experience of last season, where they came from nowhere. I mean, at the moment they're actually sat in where are they? Middlesbrough. My God, I'm going further down than I remember. They are 16th, still ahead of Blackburn though, Dave. They are 16th. The problem they've got is they've scored 16, but they've let in 17. Again, they're not been consistent, but they've been consistent of recent, and that's why I have a feeling they'll have a late run and just get into the playoffs. Dave, your thought on Middlesbrough?
Yeah, I'd say they could have been one of my teams in the playoffs. They got Birmingham on Saturday, haven't they? Is it this Saturday? So that'll be an interesting Rooney's first game. I did think I saw that.
Rooney versus Carrick, yeah.
Yeah, they're up there. So, yeah, Birmingham have done well, but they just self-destruct, don't they? Middlesbrough, I don't know. I wonder if it's a one-hit wonder with him. I do wonder. I mean, he was mentioned, wasn't he, coming to Leicester maybe at some stage, but you've got to do it for more than a season to be seen as a success. And I'm not
that
sure.
Was silly, to be honest with you, to be shouting for a manager to come in on the strength of, half a season, really, because it was, it was only the second half of the season where they did any good.
Yeah. I see Scotty Parker's been touted for a job in with Fox. What am I talking about?
To be honest with you, we say this all the time, Dave. We've absolutely no idea. You see, you may like it big, but when it's big, you can't get your words out, can you?
With King Power. That's all. Oh,
really?
11, yeah, I'm sure that. Well,
yeah, no, you're right. He has.
Yeah.
He has. Well, he's not. The rumours.
Because I did chuckle to myself if he did get that job, how you'd react. Because I know it's not.
What? What's the job? What was the job?
O.H. Leuven. The guy's been sacked.
Okay.
What's his name? Mark Piss or somebody? Something like that. He said they've had a bad start, and
You're not killing me tonight, Dave. You're killing me.
He's learned his lesson by not sacking Rodgers when he should have done. So anyway, welcome. This is the Dave Smith Show on Monday night. You can't remember
his last name. It's just Pish.
No, Mark Piss and little Bristles, Bristle. I don't know. I think he's
what you're eating, but wait, the arrow's the I had a chance there. I was trying to work out the arrow backwards.
Oh dear.
Oh, it might be Breeze. Might be Breeze. That's it. Breeze. He's Belgium anyway, isn't he?
What Dave is trying to say is that it's basically that Klopp has learned his lesson from Leicester. They are one off the bottom of the Belgian league. Leuven. He sacked the manager early, and that Scott Parker, because he's previously managed in Belgium, is one of the names being linked with.
I couldn't have said it better.
You couldn't say it any bloody worse, mate.
Too much Scotch.
We need an interpreter.
Too much Scotch in the tea. Keep the cold out.
And you wonder why he's no longer doing the breakfast show. He wakes up like this. He wakes up. He has Scotch on his cornflakes.
Actually, Frosties. That's why I'm diabetic.
Oh, dear.
Anyway,
So, where were we?
I've no fucking idea where were we, Kate?
Middlesbrough. Yeah,
Crying.
yeah, Middlesbrough.
Anybody, any idea what is going on in this show? Answers on a postcard. Who do
you reckon's going to go up this year?
I was asking you about Middlesbrough, and I think you did finish that point before before your sat nav turned off and you took a turn down a completely dead end.
Thank you very much.
Kate, if you can compose yourself. What are your thoughts on Middlesbrough? And while we're at it, AC Milan. Let's talk about the club you want to. But your thoughts on Middlesbrough, Kate?
Yeah, they were one of my choices as well. I think they've just fell off a little bit at the minute. But yeah, I'm with Dave. I think Carrick could just be a bit of a one-season wonder. That's what held me back a bit. Although they're quite far down the table in position-wise, they're not far off at all, are they? And I think I think all of those teams we've got there are all going to be there or thereabouts. We've not really picked any
except for Coventry.
I'm surprised Dave hasn't gone for Levan in there, to be honest.
Well, to be honest, I had Leicester staying up last year, so what do I know?
But all I will say is that my two choices, Middlesbrough and Swansea, are third and fourth in the form table. So I will leave it at that.
Yeah, you didn't use a lot of imagination in your
No, you didn't. Don't back up your stuff with facts, Chris. That's not what we're here for.
The bottom three are in the form table are the worst.
Well, the fact that I just didn't go out. Coventry.
I did a lot of research on that.
You did not. I messaged you and said, "Can I have your list?" You went, "I'm getting on the train. Give me 10 minutes." So you did no bloody research at all. And how you came up with OH Levan in your research, I don't know.
It just sprang in. I read it somewhere today, and I just thought, "Oh, I'll mention that because it might be interesting."
Can I just say to you, Kate? Here,
obviously not.
There's a lady called Kaylee. Right now, she does all the admin and work for Surrey Hills Radio, which Dave owns and I DJ on. And we were talking one day, and she said the last place you want to go to is the mind of Dave. She says people have gone there, and we haven't ever seen them again.
Oh dear!
Is that not true, youngster?
I can't see you. I've all steamed up now.
It's because he's big. Because you made it big, you never used to have this problem.
You may say that, but you see, at my age, there's so much going through my mind of things that keep flashing in and out. And I have to share it with you.
Oh dear!
Caring is caring, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I like to see it that way. Yeah.
Oh dear!
Still don't know who's going to go up though.
Kaylee, where is Kaylee when you need her? That's all I will say. Okay.
Oh dearie me! That's to regroup.
I'm just I can't find what I want to play now. God, I'm going to give it up. I was going to play something especially for Dave. There we go. This is just for you, Dave.
Well, I don't believe it.
Dave is the Victor Meldrew of Leicester.
No, it doesn't seem as miserable as Victor Meldrew.
Is what, sorry?
It doesn't seem as miserable as Victor Meldrew.
Sure, he's had his moments. I'll tell you.
I can be. Should have seen me last year.
Oh, God. Right. Okay. Look, we'll have another quick break and we'll come back and we'll look at our top two.
Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
Indeed, do what the X-Foxes say. Please do subscribe to the channel and smash those likes if you would be so kind. Right, if you want to follow up on the women's team, who have had an amazing start. They were top for 2 weeks. They're down to third now, but they're unbeaten. Got a point off Manchester United at the weekend. Check out Brad's review of the Manchester United game. On our sister channel, LTID TV 2. It's all over there. Check it out. And he gives a good account of that game. And coming up, well, if you've missed it, it's already come up and it's gone. Classic match. Julian Watts there talking about Palace against Leicester in the playoffs and the famous shin or not shin, whichever mood that Steve's in when he's describing that. But of course, it was Julian who headed the ball over for him to actually shin it in. So that's up on LTID TV 1. And coming up, we've got Ian Wilson, who's going to be talking in the next week or so, and he'll be talking about the semi-final. I don't think he put us off because he scored an own goal, and then somebody else broke the leg. But he'll be coming on to talk about that match and talk us through. So rather than talk about the career, about the season's build-up and the actual day itself and the match. So that will be interesting. And then Matt Elliott, hopefully, will be coming on in a couple of weeks' time to talk about the 3-3 draw. I think we all remember that, don't we, at Filbert Street? One dramatic night at Filbert Street was what LCFC.com call it. And hopefully he will be coming on to talk to us about that. And then also we've got Steve Linex, 3 goalkeepers in one game. The typical, the best football quiz question ever. And Steve obviously was one of the 3, good friend of the channel. Hopefully he's got some family issues at the moment, but hopefully he's going to be coming on and he will be talking us through that game, a classic game. I can remember I went to the semi-final, but I was working with a girl who also supported Leicester, and she got the quarter-final. As I came out of work, we heard the cheer for the 5th goal. We could hear it in the city centre, I'll tell you. But all to come on Leicester Till I Die TV, so looking good. But here we go then for the top 2. Hopefully that's going to be big enough for Dave to see. If not, I'm sure
he knows what he's doing now. He knows what he's doing.
I've got this. It's like cinema scope.
You never know what he's doing, Kate.
Cinema scope. I tell you. Yeah.
Okay. Now these are we've kind of mentioned these teams in the build-up to. We've got some of them in the playoffs. Dave, let's start with you. Get you out of the way. In Ipswich Town, you've got being in second. Again, you did lots of homework for that one, didn't you?
Yes. Actually, I've got them first.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have. I sent it. Didn't I put them first?
No, you didn't.
I meant first because I don't like to be too optimistic, as you know.
No, you're not.
I'm sure. All right. Well, I meant to put them first.
Okay.
Because I think they play some dynamic football. Yeah, and I know they've got a chance of burning out, but I reckon they'll keep on. I really do, with their support. A bit like us, with the support. I suppose you could say a bit like Sunderland and Leeds, but I just think it goes a bit deeper than that. They've got the quality as well. I think it's going to be a great game between the two of us. I just can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
It's going to be incredible.
Today's special, isn't it?
Oh, unbelievable. I hope it didn't snow. You remember that one?
Oh, God, yes. Yeah. In fairness, Dave, I've just had a look, and the way that you wrote Ipswich and Leicester, and I took it as being Ipswich, because we're looking second and first, that you'd put Ipswich as second and Leicester at first. Plus, I thought you'd be loyal to your own team. I didn't think you were a bloody turncoat.
Well, you'd think so. I got the wrong blue. Sorry, mate. And I was on a fecking train as well, to be fair.
Well, I mean, you sat down.
It was crowded. You know.
Were you going to London yesterday?
No, I went to Portsmouth.
Oh God, I went to London yesterday and got caught in the Euston madness because all the points failed at Euston as we're supposed to pull in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to Southern Rail TV.
Yeah. The undergrounds are running fine.
Hang on. I did all this morning.
Okay. I was sat on Cosham Station for about 40 minutes, freezing my Germans off, waiting for the damn train to drop me off at the next station, which I had to change at. Yeah. Oh.
I know I've no idea where this whole show is going, to be honest with you, but
hopefully back home.
Yes.
Where the trains were.
So you'll get me doing the weather in a minute as well, because that always goes with the train. And the M25, it's slow going on the M25, and the A3 at Wisley.
Well, that was
the
a
A3
nightmare.
At Wisley, everybody.
That was a nightmare yesterday because obviously the M25 was shut at junction, and there were no trains running from Guildford hardly anywhere. So the guy I didn't do it, but it was the Great South Run. So I went down to support people I know down there, my daughter and that, and they had to drive about 40 miles down to get the train from there. So transport's a right mess at the moment. Can you imagine trying to get to some of these away games on a Saturday where they're going to cancel trains? Anyway, what were you saying?
You are waking up to a sunny day, really cloudily later without breaks of rain. The evening will be pretty much a foggy but clear night. Temperatures will be about 6 degrees
with some dry spells.
And if you're going on the trains, there's going to be careful if you're disabled, because the disabled toilets are all shut. That's the classic problem at the moment.
Nightmare.
Anyway, getting back onto the right show. So you've got Leicester. Why do you think that we'll go to Leicester second then, Dave?
Because I just don't want it to happen, and my prediction skills aren't very good. So I thought, I don't know. I just think there's a danger we could get caught out the way we're playing. And I know that he'll change it, and I know there's players coming back, hopefully, although I'm not sure that the injuries are going to be that soon, are they? So, he goes on about left-sided defender, whatever, but I just think Ipswich have got so much flair. They're going to do like Newcastle did all those years ago, not under Rafa, but under Kevin Keegan, and come up in style. And I just think they've probably got a little bit more than we have. And they're on a high, don't forget. I mean, getting promoted last year was like we did. We won the League One title and then just kept going, didn't we?
Yeah. And just missing out.
And once you're on a roll like that, it takes a lot to shift it. Yeah. That was my view at the time, anyway. When I had 5 minutes.
Now we're going to go over to our eye in the sky. And Kate, what are the roads like out there? Are they pretty clear?
No, it's total gridlock, Chris, to be honest. No one's moving.
Something's total gridlock.
You can see a guy on this train platform here freezing his Germans off. Looks like he's been there a while.
Okay, well, you've been more loyal. And you've gone second for Leeds and first for Leicester.
Yeah, so obviously I think Leicester are gonna do it, but I completely understand Dave's point of view. I think it's just as likely Ipswich are going to carry on, and I do think we've got a mistake in us that hasn't yet been punished. So if Southampton have been punished for every mistake they've made, then that could easily happen to us. It could easily happen to us. But Leeds, I just feel like their front five or so are so powerful. And the guy they signed from Swansea's hit the ground running. I just think going forwards, they're a great outfit. And a colleague of mine is a huge Leeds fan, and he puts all the troubles at the beginning of the season down to the fact that the transfer window was open and it was just wreaking havoc in the squad, absolutely wreaking havoc. And he said, I window to shut, so we just know, and the stability, and you hear, and that's it. And I think that really affected them, and it's one of those stupid arguments, isn't it, having the transfer window still open when the season starts, which is just ridiculous. So I just think Leeds will start to turn the screw a bit now, and I just can't see us being knocked off our perch. I just think we've got the momentum that we spoke about others having. I think it's with us at the minute, and we'll need a bit of luck along the way. But yeah, I think it's looking likely.
I think every team needs that little bit of luck, don't they? I mean, I right at the start of the season, like Dave, I would have probably had Coventry up there. I think I said they probably would come up with us, but I just think Sunderland. I mean, at the moment, for me, Sunderland, they're in fourth at the moment. The only problem with Sunderland is their inconsistency. But I think if they can get a good run going, I think Ipswich, who were my other team that I thought a bit like Dave in the top two, but I think Ipswich, like I said, will just drop off, and Sunderland, I think, once they get that run going. Leicester, at the start of the season, I would have been happy with 6th or 7th, and a season just to stabilise and get things back on track, and then push on from there. This is beyond our wildest dreams. I mean, if we were to carry on this into the rest of the season, I think Kate, you were on the show last week when I did it. It'd be 125 points. 106 is the record at the moment for Reading. I think we could possibly, if this carries on, we could beat that. And the problem is we've had such a good start. It is Leicester, isn't it? So there's always that problem that we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot. That champion, when we won the Premier League, we all knew during the season that something would go wrong, but it didn't. And that's always the risk with Leicester. I mean, somebody just said in the Kian, I think it was, has said in the chat about suspensions and injuries. I just think we've got the squad to cover it. I think last season, the problem was if we got a suspension or an injury, that Brendan would not go and try other different players. And I think now we're looking at, players, he's swapping them around. So if they have got a yellow card, they might not get another one at the end of the game and get that extra ban or anything like that, or a red card. And I just think we've got, if we do get an injury, we've got enough players at the moment to cover. And come January, I mean, I know Ant from Ant's Leicester fan channel was saying that he hopes we're going to spend over 20 million in the January transfer window just to piss everybody else off in the Championship, which is as good a season as any. But yeah, it would be disappointing, will it not, Kate, having had the start that we've had, to actually not be there at the end of the season?
Disappointing is an understatement. It would be an absolute tragedy. I mean,
well, I can think of worse things, to be honest with you. If I'm honest.
But it would be a football tragedy.
It would be a football tragedy, yes. It's like stuck on a train and not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the. I think we're all in the camp that anything can happen with Leicester.
Yes.
The wheels can fall off. We could have half a dozen games where we don't pick up a point. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Martin says, Leicester City going to win league. By long way this to you, Dave. I don't know what you mean, Martin. Leicester City going to win the league.
Yeah, he thinks
this to you, Dave.
Yeah, it sounds like he thinks they'll win it easy, which, I hope he's right. I mean, a lot of me thinks, we should walk away with it, but I just,
I'm going to be honest with you. If we come second and still get automatic promotion, it won't be like, the sinking of the Titanic, will it? We'll have still gone up.
Yeah.
So I would, I'd be happy if you offer me second now and said, look, you can have second and we'll just cruise through the rest of the season. I'd bite your end off. I really would. I think I know where this one's going. We'll just very quickly end up with this question from He. Player of the season so far. I'm sticking with Harry Winks, which is what I said the other week when we did it. Kate, are you sticking with Harry Winks?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And Dave, your player of the season for Leicester?
Yeah.
Harry Winks, yeah. I think we've all got to say Harry Winks. But though, I am going to give a very big shout out to Yannick Vestergaard.
I thought you might.
Although running close is, I've got it gone completely out of my head. The guy has just done his hamstring.
McAteer?
Yeah.
McAteer is...
Well, the two wingers are, aren't they? The two wingers. I mean, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? There are players that are all up for that sort of award. We've not had that for a long, long time.
No.
I on the Swansea channel earlier, the guy said to me, "Can you give me two players that you are sort of really impressed with?" And I went, "No, I cannot name just two players. It is impossible." Now, when was the last time we could say that? Probably the FA Cup or the Premier League.
Last year you couldn't think of two, and now you can think of way more than two.
Yeah,
it is. Although, like I say, we've got to give Yannick a big shout out. The man.
Well, it's interesting. After his suspension, he got straight back in, didn't he?
Yes.
I didn't think he would do, but he did. Now, that's a vote of confidence. That is.
Yes. Yeah.
Big time.
Very, very quickly, Kate. Because I know you weren't impressed with Harry Souttar when he came on. But he played for Australia and he didn't have a bad. I don't know if you saw the game at all.
I didn't, but I saw some highlights and I saw that tackle he made right on the byline. He came charging across and made a great tackle. It wasn't that I wasn't impressed. I could just see the stark difference between him and Vestergaard suddenly. And there was a couple of times, one in particular, he got turned like a schoolboy and it was a bit embarrassing. And he put himself in a really poor position and he was caught all ends up and it didn't amount to anything, but it could have done. And I don't know if that's rustiness or I don't know, but there was just a few bits where you're like, I'm just not sure if he's quite on the pace here.
Wouldn't have got that with Yannick.
Nah, he's a bit like Harry Maguire on a bad day, isn't he? On his turning ability.
He absolutely is.
Hey, look, it's nice to say that we're struggling to find somebody that is bad. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And thanks to everybody for watching this travel show. We hope you've enjoyed it. Kate, I'm going to say, I won't ask Dave where people can find him because it's sat on a train somewhere stuck in Portsmouth or Oakland. But Kate, just tell everybody.
I must go there one day. I must go there.
You can find me on Twitter at Kate Blakey 40. Give me a follow on there and hopefully speak soon.
And of course, if you are going to follow Kate Blakey 40 on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it these days, easiest way to remember.
Hello, Kate.
I'd love to follow Kate, but I'm banned from Twitter. I think I'm going to have to bring Harry back, Harry Smythe.
You were banned on Facebook. You were banned on
Twitter.
I didn't realise you'd got banned off Twitch. I thought you just didn't like it.
Persecuted. No, I tried to get on it to put a comment on, and they said my account's been suspended.
The plot thickens, doesn't it? The plot thickens.
He looks like your like favourite granddad, doesn't he?
I know.
Butter wouldn't melt. I mean, if that song "Grandad" by Clive Dunn, it could have been written for Dave.
Sometimes you just have to respond to idiots, don't you?
Quite often on here, Dave. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Thanks for all your responses, guys. Yeah.
Dave, I'm going to dread asking this.
Okay.
Tell everybody where. Well, not on Twitter, obviously. You're not on Twitter.
No.
But if people want to interact with you, where can they find you?
Well, through you, I guess. I don't know. SurreyHillsRadio.co.uk. Looking forward to catching up soon.
Yeah, and we're waiting for the next instalment of the history.
Ah, indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
The COVID years.
Yeah.
I tell you, some pictures on that website of when it was set up, Kate. Dave actually looks younger than 55.
I've not looked at them yet. I didn't know they were there.
Problem is, you're very lucky because you can't blow them up, so they are only they are only small.
Look at this. It's incredible.
I love this. I love it. He's so excited about this. It's transformed his life.
Yeah. Oh, I'll put you back to normal now.
Oh dear. Do get over and check out. It's a great radio station. Breakfast DJ, absolutely wonderful. Don't know who he is, but he really gets you up in the morning. I shouldn't have said that, Dave, should I? But thank you so very much, all three of you.
Nice to see you guys. All three of us.
But take care, and we'll see you all. Are you going on the weekend, Kate?
Yes, I am. Yeah, off to Swansea.
Oh, well done.
Hopefully, have you had your jabs?
Yep, had them today.
That's all right then. And you got your visa and passport?
Got my visa and passport. I just can't speak the language, so we'll see how I go.
It's all right. They struggle to speak the language as well, so don't worry about it.
And all you'll get is the bloody Welsh national anthem, won't you, or something like that? I mean, you don't sing any of this.
Although I can speak a bit of Welsh.
Aye.
There you go. So on that note, what
nice
do you
to see you guys.
With a kangaroo, a woolly jumper.
Woolly
on that
jumper,
one, I'll let you go. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. I will speak to you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. See you. Bye.
Cheers. Oh, Dave and Kate, what was that show about? Apparently, OH Leuven are looking for a new manager, and it could be Scott Parker. Don't say I don't know where I've heard that from, but look, it could be happening. We will be back on Thursday with the preview show for the Swansea game. Brad will be bringing you that. And on Friday for the Prediction League, I think you'll have Brad and me for that one because we've got Steve, who has a few personal issues and problems at the moment. And then obviously for the watch along on Saturday. So thanks everybody that was joining in the chat. A little bit different. We'll be back to normal Leicester reviews and chat next Monday because we'll have a game to talk about. And it always helps, doesn't it? But I'll see you on Thursday. Well, I won't see you on Thursday, but we will see you as a channel on Thursday. Don't forget, if you want to follow what's happening with the women, then please do get over to LTID TV 2 and check them out over there. And don't forget, please subscribe if you are new. And if you are new as well, please do press that like button. It really does help. And if you've been listening to us via the podcast platform, thank you very, very much for lending me your ears. We really, really, really do appreciate it. I've been Chris. This has been LTID TV. This is Arnie. Good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You'd better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.